I don't think I'm the only one that gets less and less excited about Rolex releases and more interested in what Tudor has to offer every year. Rolex is a master of small changes over a long period of time. In some ways, I respect this. They think so highly of their product that only minor changes are needed. In other ways, I am just getting bored of Rolex. I feel like they have lost their way and their watches look more like jewelry and less like tool watches. With the exception of the Explorer, which I've been on the waitlist for over a year. Tudor likes to play it a little less safe, releasing something that no one saw coming pretty much every year, while improving on existing lines. Tudor also listens to their customers' feedback and tries to deliver a modern take on it. Although, we are yet to see a new Tudor Ranger, and yes, I know, I was completely wrong in my prediction video. Tudor gave us some great watches this year though, and one that I think I will be adding to my collection. With all that said, let's take a look at the releases this year, starting with Rolex. First, we'll start with a classic watch in a new metal. The Rolex Day-Date is no stranger to watch collectors. Personally, I have always preferred the fluted bezel, and that is exactly what we have here. Rolex has released a Day-Date with a fluted bezel in platinum. When I first saw this watch, I thought, doesn't Rolex already make that? But then I realized that they only make a flat bezel version. The ice blue dial is a great touch on these watches. While the platinum makes this unobtainium for me, it is a seriously cool watch for the ballers who are willing to request the price. Up next is a watch that I don't think gets enough attention in the Rolex line. Okay, who are we kidding? They all get enough attention. We have a couple of new Yacht-Masters. One in yellow gold with a black dial, and the other in white gold with a falcon eye dial. The one in yellow gold looks exactly like the Ever-Rose Yacht-Master that already exists. The white gold is my favorite of the two. I really like the falcon eye dial and the contrast between white gold and the black bezel. Both of these watches are 42mm and come on a rubber strap. The white gold version comes in at around 33,000 USD, and the yellow gold version comes in at around 30,000 USD. The next watch we're looking at may be my favorite release from Rolex this year, and it's actually my second favorite Rolex of all time. I know the Air King has always been a black sheep in the Rolex lineup. I like black sheeps though. They stand out in a sea of mediocrity. So I was happy to see a new version of the Air King was released this year. At first glance, not much has changed. Upon closer inspection, everything has changed. First, the 369 numerals are no longer solid white gold, they are now lume filled. Similar to the Rolex Explorer. Crown guards have been added to the new case. The case may look familiar as it is a Rolex Professional case, which now puts this Air King in the Rolex Professional lineup. One last small change, the 5 indice has been changed to 05 for all you symmetrical snobs out there. If you can get one for retail, they run about 7,400 USD. Let's be real here though, I'm definitely not going to get one for retail. And finally, the most controversial of the Rolex releases, the new Gmt Master Ii. No, the picture is not upside down on your screen. Rolex has come out with a left-handed version of the Gmt Master Ii with a green and black bezel. Other than that, nothing has changed on this watch. One thing that never changes with Rolex releases is the controversy. People either love or hate this watch. I have heard of this watch referred to as the Ned Flanders, which is just absolutely genius if you're a Simpsons fan.
Okily-dokily-do!
The Ned Flanders comes in at $10,050 or $10,250 USD depending on the bracelet. I also just want to give an honorable mention to the Datejust lineup. There was a lot of updates throughout many of their lines. The 41mm version got a textured dial, the 31mm version got a floral dial, the 36mm version got a palm motif dial in various colors. They also did some updates to their precious metals. We have a green dial version and an onyx dial version. There's actually just a lot of updates to the Datejust in general. So if you want to take a look at that, go to Rolex's website and you can see all the updates. And that's it from Rolex. A few tweaks here and there, but nothing really exciting to me. Now, I'm not saying Tudor is completely innocent. Tudor does take existing models and make small changes to them, but they also make large changes and release new models often. An example of one of the small changes they made this year is with the addition to the Black Bay chronograph lineup. Tudor introduced a new two-tone model, this time featuring a gold dial. This is a small change, but really does change the look of the watch and provides everyone with more dial options. I personally am not a fan of gold dials, so this is a miss for me. Coming in at $5,600 to $6,800 USD depending on the bracelet or strap, I think that these watches will do very well overseas, but not so well in North America. An example of a large change would be the new Black Bay GMT. For a long time, collectors have been asking Tudor for another version of the beloved Pepsi GMT. Finally, they have delivered with a version which has been dubbed the Root Beer. The black and brown/maroon bezel is similar to a certain Rolex that many people are fond of. And in a move I didn't see coming, it's a two-tone. The gilt dial, hands, and bezel really set this piece off. I think this was the perfect second iteration for the GMT and really offsets the Pepsi nicely. Of course, since it's two-tone, it's going to cost a little more than a regular GMT. Pricing starts at $4,000 USD on a strap and goes up to $5,200 USD on the two-tone bracelet. I would like to take this time for the honorable mentions. At this point, Tudor has released more models of the Royal and Black Bay 31 to 41 than I can keep track of. Tudor added more this year to each line with various dials and two-tone options. If you are interested in these models, be sure to look long and hard through the options as there are over 50 iterations of each. Finally, we end it with my favorite release from Tudor and Rolex. This will probably be the next watch in my collection. I bet you guessed it already, but I'm talking about the Black Bay Pro. Yes, in my last video I said I would be willing to bet that we are getting a Tudor Ranger. Good thing no one took me up on that bet because I was dead wrong. Instead, we've got an Explorer style Black Bay GMT. The non-rotating bezel features a 24-hour scale for the GMT hand. The dial appears to be flat black with yellow accents on the text and GMT hand. Featuring the same movement found in the Black Bay GMT, Tudor has stuffed it into a 39mm case. Although it is 39mm, the one downside is that it is 14.6mm thick. The Black Bay Pro is a big hit for me, and I'm definitely going to pick one up when I get a chance. I've already emailed my AD, and with a price of $3,675 USD on a strap or $4,000 USD on a bracelet, I have a feeling these will sell like hotcakes. So what do you think of the new releases from Rolex and Tudor? What are your hits and misses? Please let me know in the comments below. And as always, thank you for taking the time to watch. I really appreciate it. If you like this video, please give it a thumbs up. And if you want more content like this, then please subscribe to the channel. Thank you.